Appreciate that good, faithful startup, mate. Hey, don't let the looks fool you, mate. You're really dealing with a high caliber type of nigga, mate, with high knowledge. If they ask me how much I pay for the Range Rover, I ain't gonna never tell y'all a lie. I'm always tell y'all a joke. I paid $500 for this thing. What up with everybody? It's the kid Paperboy, and this is my good man, Leo motherfucking Now, the owner, the legendary man of Weapon R. Make sure to come check him out. Make sure to follow us. And just want y'all to listen and experience the iconic historical information and the things that he have developed, along with the things that I'm doing and developing myself. So I want to kick this off with asking this iconic man, how did you first get into this automobile game, the high performance game, just the racing scene of imports? I see now you're into the Euros now, but imports is what started you off, correct?
Yes, my first car was a Mitsubishi Starion Turbo.
Starion Turbo.
I got into it because my dad actually had a auto mechanic body shop back in San Francisco. And I was basically born there basically.
Chinatown Sunset.
Yes, sir. It was in Chinatown.
Nice.
Yes. So.
Shout out to Chinatown.
So I was basically born and raised in Chinatown, and in my dad's garage. So he had done mechanical, paint work, all that, basically everything to the car.
Body too?
Yes, sir, body. And then, you know, I was like 8 years old, already like in the driver's seat playing around, you know. And then, you know, that really just sparked it because like my parents was into it, my dad was really into it, all of his friends were into it. And back then they were all into old schools, what they call old schools today.
Right.
You know, big V8s.
Okay.
My dad had a Firebird.
Yeah, old school muscle, American muscle.
American muscle.
Okay.
But my era is all the Japanese cars.
Right.
You know?
Excuse me. You said your first car was a Starion.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what a Starion is, tell them what a Starion is, because it also had a identical twin called the Conquest.
Yes.
Which was made by what company?
I believe it was Dodge Conquest.
Dodge and Chrysler combined.
Yep.
And then Mitsubishi was their twin. That was the own thing though.
It was the evil twin.
Yeah. Exact same thing, same body, same motor.
A little bit different, just a little bit of a twist, you know. They changed up the front fascia just a little bit, but the interior, everything was pretty much the same. Motor is obviously the same.
Rear-wheel drive turbo.
Rear-wheel drive turbo. Yep.
In the inner city, aka the hood, we actually love those things. Me, I have never owned one or got to drive one, but I've seen them do their thing. They're great performance cars, and my cousin Moan definitely loved those cars. They're a great sideshow champion.
Yeah, and the arch enemy to that car was the 300ZX.
Oh, the Nissan
Turbo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Z31, Z32s, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you know, that really sparked it, and you know, as I was growing up, you know, 12, 13, 14, I was really washing cars at my dad's place and making money that way. I was hustling and trying to make money that way. And when I first got my first car at 15 and a half, got my driver's license, I had the Starion, probably like 1 year, crashed it. Then I got into the RX-7s. Got into RX-7s.
Yeah.
RX-7s is really what really like made it for me.
What was your first RX-7 you purchased?
It was the FC.
FC.
Non-turbo, but it was the FC.
Okay.
I had done everything I could to that thing.
Those are from 87 to 91.
Yeah. And
second generation, the second body.
Second generation RX-7.
13Bs fuel injected, then the 13B turbo.
No 12A,
no.
13B. Yep. So I had a 13B, you know, did intake, headers, exhaust. I played with many different types of exhaust systems, like kind of configuring my own, figuring out if dual exhaust, one on each side was good, or just single side. But like, you know, had started a little race team with my friends at school. And
when you bought that car, do you remember where you bought it and how much you bought it for?
Oh man, I paid like probably $5 grand back then.
$5 grand. Okay.
Yeah, it was used. I had bought it from my uncle.
Yeah, but from that era, because when I first came into the game, you know, cars of that era, it was at 125,000 miles and so on and so on. What mileage were you sitting at? Because it's still
I was sitting at 30,000 miles.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You were still at like
it had a fresh motor.
And that's why I'm asking you. That's like a brand new brand new car era.
Yeah.
So was that thing like quick for its time?
I think it was
My
really quick
question.
for the time.
Being a
really,
K2.
what really made it for me was that it revved very high. I can go to 9,000 RPMs, which is unheard of with all like any Honda or
Any
Toyota or
motor.
stuff like that.
Right.
But the rotaries were just like rev like crazy.
Dorito.
Yeah. And it had the power range was just it just pulls you up there. So like that was what really brought me into the game. And then I had crashed that obviously.
Power and torque is two different things. Because when I was building my '87 Turbo 2 that I had purchased for $3,500, it had about 110,000 miles on it. I loved it. It was a red on red. And when I first got it, I called my brother Soche, and I took him for a drive down Brotherhood. And I never had a turbo car yet, so when I was driving it, that G-force, the torque just pushed me back. And I looked at my boost gauge, the stock boost meter on the cluster. It said we was dumping 10 pounds of boost, PSI, pound square inches. And he told me, slow down, okay. But that was the first time I experienced like OEM power, and I have yet to feel that type of power, anything yet. That's why I'm really looking for a Z32 twin turbo right now. I'm trying to keep everything stocked, but I tell you guys this because power and torque is two different things, man.
Definitely.
The RX-7 had a lot of power. It didn't have that G-force torque on an all motor, but I could tell you the turbo, it definitely set your ass
It's a
down
whole different
for sure.
story.
For sure, different ball game,
different story.
night and day.
Yeah. So like, you know, I had really got into the scene and started playing with Hondas. My first Honda was a CRX, silver CRX.
Yeah.
That eventually turned into the Weapon R's first race car. It was all motor, put an H22 in there.
H2B came out of only Preludes?
Yes.
Okay.
Only came out of Prelude that size back then. I put that in there, started racing in Palmdale. We did some stuff at Sacramento. We did some stuff at Sears Point. But like, that's what really got me into Hondas. Hondas was the new hottest thing.
Right.
And it was easy to work on, especially for somebody that didn't know a whole lot about cars. You know, I had jumped from Mitsubishis to Mazdas and then to Hondas. Never really got into a Nissan very much.
When you bought the RX-7 from your uncle, did you have options of any other cars to buy? Like, could you have bought a Civic first? Could you have bought a Nissan? Could you have bought a Mitsubishi Stealth for 3000 GT? You know, what gravitated you to the FC just off the rip before Honda?
I really have to tell you why the RX-7, I gravitated towards the RX-7 was because it looked like the Porsche 944. It looked like a
true
Porsche
sports car.
Yes.
True sports car. Nice, sleek, rear-wheel drive car.
Yeah.
Had that nice, you know, sports car look, which it was.
That nice slant look on the nose, you know, it just looked super sporty, you know. So after that RX-7, you know, I had learned that, you know, Hondas can make some crazy power too.
Right.
And then that was the wave.
But that was early Honda.
Yeah.
Not like
No VTEC
power Honda right now.
Yeah.
Not 2,000 horsepower K20 Hondas. No.
Not even any VTEC. It was just a 1.6 liter SI.
Four banger.
Yes. You know.
You know, you spoke about the 944. Every time that name gets brought up, I always tell the story. You know, in high school, going to Balboa, I had a friend named Kit McSai Nguyen, Vietnamese cat, and his father had left him a Porsche 944 Turbo Red 1986, and that was my first time learning how to drive a stick at a performance level, and we used to drive that motherfucker to school every day. We used to just like, hey, but get over at our house, bro, it's good. So it was me, Soche's cousin Joe, and Kit, man. We used to be in that motherfucker, man. That's that story though. Every time, black leather guts. The 928, the 964, and the 944, I believe, all was the Porsches with the front motor.
Yeah.
The 928
was the V8.
V8, which is
with
the
the
squad
pop-up,
face, with the
pop-up,
frog
foggy
eyes.
eyes.
I call those the
Kermits.
Yeah, the squad face Porsche with the big hatch that was super glass houses. Yeah, those were supposed to be the replacement for the Carrera. But that's a different story for a different time, man.
Yeah.
But back to after the Honda, making great power, you developed a heavy love for it because the crowd was big, the scene was just growing.
The scene. You know, everybody was into it. Everybody kind of helped each other out. But, you know, there was always a little rival of like San Francisco guys versus like San Jose guys. Then you had like the guys from like Los Angeles,
Right.
you know, LA. We would go down there sometimes and just go run at Silmar in LA just to go race with them guys. And, you know, it was crazy back then, you know.
When did the nighttime racing event start? Like, was that like a every Saturday night thing at like the Great Highway? Like, tell me, because you know I'm still a young boy.
So, in the 90s, it was, you would probably cruise on Sunset Boulevard. You would cruise on Gary Boulevard. If you was in the city, you would cruise those two boulevards, and you would see somebody with a slightly fixed up car, lowered, had some 16-inch rims, you know, had exhaust, and you just be on them. You just pull up right up on top of them, and then you flick the switch. What we say by flick the switch is you would turn your ambers on.
Right.
That means your turn signals wouldn't turn, they wouldn't blink, they would just turn on. Meaning that like when you're at a drag strip, right, you get yellow,
yellow, yellow, green.
Yeah, red and green.
Yeah, right.
But like
right.
red is if you know, red light, you know, you jump ahead. So like when you turn on the yellows, they'd be like, I'm ready.
Right.
I'm ready to go.
Right.
You flick the switch and they know, like, oh, he wants to race me.
Challenge, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Challenge. And then you turn your ambers on and it's like challenge accepted.
Right.
And then you just go, bang, bang, you hit it 2 times and you just drop the gear and you just go for it. And that was it, man. You would do that. Yeah, Great Highway, but like not too many people on Great Highway. It was about like the 80s. People from the 80s would hit Great Highway and Brotherhood.
Did you have any memorable races, you know, in the FC? Something that spanked you that you said, fuck that, never again, or something that you just whooped so bad? Like, damn, man.
I used to go down to Clawwitter over in Hayward.
Okay.
I used to go down to San Jose a lot. But like, I was known, they would call me Reverend 7.
Reverend 7.
And, you know, I never had NOS. So what they call squeezing.
Yeah.
I never had NOS, but they were always checking for NOS. They're like, why are you so fast? You know? But like, in my RX-7, I would race Corrados, Volkswagen Corrados, G60s that were supercharged, and they were always on, you know, squeezing.
Right.
I would whoop them because I could rev so high.
Right.
So after the RX-7, I really just kind of like always achieved to try to get my cars to rev really high because I always had that feeling of like, the higher I could rev, I could just eke them out every single time.
Correct.
When they're shifting, you just still, you're pulling away from them, you know? So I always achieved that. I always wanted to achieve that with every single one of my cars. But yeah, I mean, one thing that stuck in my mind was when I was in my CRX coming back from a race, you know, street racing at night it was a Friday. But we would always race on Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay.
Fridays, you would go down to San Jose, come back to probably like 3 o'clock. I was on the freeway, and it was a Civic VTEC that was on me, and he had ambered me up, and you know, I've been doing it for a little while already, and you know, racing on the freeways, and I already knew how to look ahead and judge speed, everybody else's speed and your speed, and wiggle it around. And he wasn't. He was obviously not a veteran.
Right.
So we took off, and I had beat him, came ahead, and then I had cut in front of him, and then he freaked out and he hit the barrier, and he spun around a few times.
Yeah.
And then that's the last time I saw him, bro.
Hey, no,
Yeah, but I-
you got that wheel, man.
Yeah, but that was one experience that I really always stuck in my mind.
All right, so let's fast forward this. Now, you are a player in the game, Hondas, racing. Where did this company that's been around for 25 plus years, Weapon R, come from? What was that? Because you've been around a long time. I've seen you in Super Street magazines. I've seen you HIM places. I've seen and heard a lot about you, man. Early years. I've seen ads in back of magazines, and I still see new parts being put on vehicles to this day. Where'd that come from?
So we started in 1993.
Who is we? You got a brother or something?
No, it's just me. But I always like to include everybody in my team
Okay.
as all together as one. It's not just me.
Okay.
You know, it takes, you know, there's no I in team.
You're absolutely right.
So We started in 1993. I had a shop already in the early 90s.
That's also the same year the FD dropped.
Yeah.
93 FD RX-7. Yeah, 93
Clearly back then, but you know. But yeah, we had a store already, and it was called Revolutions Motorsports. And I was already fabricating parts that time. And I was like 18, 19, 20, 21, right around that age. And that's when the imports really started taking off. And nobody made any parts for it. You would have to try and retrofit muscle car stuff like MSD, ignition systems. They had no spark plug wires, thicker spark plug wires, nothing. So you would have to just kind of figure out stuff for yourself.
Test shit.
Yeah, you would just have to fabricate or make stuff. So I really got into that because I love the cars. So just fabricating, thinking about how to make these cars faster, what to do, really sparked my interest. And I was always liked to tinker. So that started off Weapon R. We started off with air intake systems. We started doing headers, and just a lot of more accessories. But what really took me to another plane was when I started welding trackside for Ducati.
What is tracksides?
Trackside, basically, if somebody's racing a Ducati, if they fall down on their bike, they bring the bike back in, you start fixing it while they jump on another bike and they keep racing.
Oh, okay.
So you're a trackside welder. You're
Oh,
welding on
yeah.
welder.
Okay, that's what it is.
So that evolved into like making parts, and that also evolved into me being a chief scrutineer in China and touring around with the Formula Ford and Formula Renault series. It's basically Formula 3.
Your dad was a professional driver too, right?
No, my dad was not a professional driver.
It was something you told me he was in that professional scene of somewhere. I remember that word formula and your father being a part of something.
He was professional on the streets.
Okay.
Okay. Professional on the streets. Yeah, but he used to, race with his big V8s, and he never believed in squeezing.
Right.
So that's why we never used
squeezed.
It. Yeah,
right.
We never squeezed. We like to squeeze everything, but we don't squeeze the cars. But yeah, I mean, so we did some. We also promoted races in San Francisco, California. We did it in Sears Point Raceway, Sacramento Raceway, but just motorsports really engulfed me, and I embraced it. And I toured Asia for multiple years, working in the Formula industry, working in the Cup car industry and the exotic Cup car industry, which really got me into exotics too. And it's just a great experience that I feel that if anybody feels that they have a dream, they should always follow it, because this man right here is an example of following his dream, and you should always follow your dreams. It's a must.
Yeah, I had a slogan, well not a slogan, a saying, if you don't dream, there's really no point of living.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, and I'm not saying if you dream to become the president, stop what you're doing and try to become the president. I'm saying like a logical dream, like anything in life is possible. You just gotta put your mind to it and go for it. We're here, gotta understand that we're here for a limited time. And we gotta just make the best of it.
Yeah.
So dreams is a real thing, and then help people build their dreams, help people reach their dreams, and now it's being returned to me. But I got another question for you.
Yes.
And the question I got for you is this: you done been around for the birth of the golden era, and then you also seen the decline in the Hondas, where a lot of people were jumping out the scene. These new cars were taking over. Honda Civics were at a giveaway price. Companies like Mugen and Spoon, all these high performance JDM parts for the Honda scene was just dime a dozen, they would say.
Yeah.
Now that I entered it a few years ago, but now that I am not a master of the game, but I'm there hanging with the big boys, I'm affiliates of the kings of the game. We see a high climb back, a high peaking of the game right now, where a CRX, which was you once had in the 90s, them shits go for about $10,000. The Integra Type R, one just was bidding on for $109,000 on Bring a Trailer with 10,000 miles, but he took it down because it didn't meet reserve. A NSX just sold this morning on Bring a Trailer Supercharged for close to $400K. And we're talking about these old ass vehicles that even if you pay that type of money, we ain't gonna never see it on the road.
Yeah.
In your sense, do you see the game coming back to where it was? I'm gonna use the word HIM, because to me, I wasn't in the scene, but from what I've seen, heard, and witnessed through magazines and video footage, HIN was the greatest scene, time era of imports. Is that scene coming back?
I would like to say, I was really into that scene, but
You was there from birth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to say that like there's an evolution of the scene. It was Honda era, and then like everybody else, everybody has their different taste in cars, different taste in their own style. You know, modifying cars is an expression of yourself.
Right.
So there's always going to be something that I like that you might not like, and something that you like that I might not like. So there's a big evolution of how you modify cars, how people like it to look, or how some people, you know, perceive what is good, what is pure, like purists. There are many different tiers of an enthusiast nowadays. There's purists, you know, that just want everything OEM or just as close as you can to OEM. Then you got the guys that just like don't give a F, and they'll
That's me.
Yeah, two middle fingers up to you because I want to express myself.
Right.
This is what I like. I don't care what you like. This is me. I agree with all of it because you're all enthusiasts. But if you're trying to, if your question is if the HIN era is going to come back, I think that
because it's literally, I'm getting DMs and messages. Hey, Pape, are you going to this show this week, that week, this week? It's literally about 10 shows a month. You know, about 5 years ago, we will only be loading up for Week Fest, which is like, and I'm not afraid to say it, which is the king of car shows right now. You know, people are literally building and getting their shit together for this debut show. I'm talking about people that hasn't been in this game for 20 plus years, and because the love that I'm been showing for the import scene, especially the Honda scene, I have influenced retired players in the game to come bring their ass back because the love that they got for the game. And like you said, and it's an expression, you know. I built these cars for the love. It's my therapy. It's very therapeutic for me. It's the connection in the building, and you know, all around, you know, aspects
connecting with
of
your friends, family.
You know,
people, some of the older guys like us, you know, we're pruning the next generation actually. Like my son, you know, I'm pruning him to like, it's like, what is this? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? You know, and I'm passing the knowledge on to them, and that's the second. I think that's the second stage of like an old enthusiast like lifespan. I wouldn't say lifespan, but you know, their evolution. You know, because like I was really into it. You know, I had built a company which still stands, and you know,
45 plus years running.
Yeah, since '93. So, and you know, there's the next generation, you know, that wants to learn and has the same passion about these cars. So, you know, I feel like that era, that golden era has come and gone, but there's a new era, and there's a new era of how enthusiasts react, and also, you know, people are not afraid to spend that much money on their cars anymore. You know, they don't mind spending X amount of dollars for a quality part. Whereas back in my era, you had nothing, so you had to scrape and try to make anything you could make it happen because there was nothing. You basically were the pioneer for that car when you were making parts. You were the guy. You were that guy.
Right.
You know, and you know,
coming up, there was no catalog to order nothing from besides like Eldo Brock and shit like that.
Nah.
There's nothing for like the import
I mean,
scene. Like, when did import tuner and like things like that happen? Like, when did Grady hatch? Like when did those things come into play? Trust and shit like that.
Grady was never Grady until it came to the United States. It was always named Trust.
Correct.
When they came to the United States, they called themselves Grady.
Okay.
Grady had started in the late 90s or mid 90s. I remember because a few of my other competitors, when I had my shop, started to carry it. And one crazy little thing about Grady that I remember from that era is when they used to sell their exhaust systems, they were painted black. Okay, the exhaust tip was stainless steel, and at that time, everybody wanted stainless steel exhaust system. Like, is your exhaust system stainless steel? Like, no, I went to the welder shop and I built it, or we welded it together, or we bought some U-bends and we made it. But Grady, they had painted it black, and nobody knew that it was stainless steel underneath until we started playing with it, and we're like, see what's underneath this black paint.
Right.
We took some paint thinner to it. It's like, oh my God, it's polished stainless steel underneath these. So, you know, we would, at my shop, we would just clean them up with paint thinner and put them back up like, oh, you use it from Japan.
Yeah.
Which these are more expensive.
Yeah,
which they were. But like, you know, we had to pay, I mean, you had to pay for our labor, but needless to say, you know, that was one, you know, memory of like when Grady first started. They thought that the customers here didn't want that flashy, shiny stuff.
Right.
But to this day, I still believe that when you're in this industry to show off what you have on your car.
Right.
I would say 99% of people want it. When you pop that hood,
Yeah, they want that showstopper.
you know, and it's like, whoa! You know, instead of like everything's matte black, like, oh, that's cool, that's clean.
Right.
Yeah, it's a different type of you know, enthusiast. You know, and there's difference in that as far as like the evolution of this industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we jumped from the RX-7, CRXs, building shit. It was one point where you got into the van culture. The vans were a real big thing.
Yeah.
How did that come across? You was rocking with a clique called Van Culture, and you started doing intakes for them. I like vans. You know, when me and you travel to China, I only want to be driven around in the
Alpha. Yeah.
You know, the big boy mafia yakuza style vehicle. You know, AKA, you know, more of like a luxury high ace.
Yeah.
You know.
So vans, I gravitated towards vans because of when I was living in Asia. You know, that was the mode. That was like the VIP. You're like the boss if you was riding around in a van.
Right.
You know.
Where does a step wagon fall between that? Van, step wagon, a wagon? What is a step wagon?
Step wagon is still a Honda van. It's not a full size like a Odyssey. It's a mid-size van.
Okay.
So the step wagon was made as a large version for Japan.
Okay.
Okay. And then the Alfords were like the VIP big boss vans.
Right. Okay.
So like the family guy, like, you know, a regular family guy would want a step wagon because, you know, engine's a little smaller, it's not so flashy, and the price is a little bit more economical. More people can afford it. Versus like a big boss from a big company, you know, he had a chauffeur to drive him around in a Alford or El Grand, the Nissan version.
Yeah.
You know,
big dog shit.
Yeah. GSR blades.
GSR blades. It came with the floor mats, Type R tranny also, and that motherfucker was a real champion. It really had Mugen R&Rs on it.
Ooh.
Polished R&Rs, and he had took them off it. I didn't really care for it, but he threw the GSR blades on it. And I
got good on a CRX.
Yeah, they do. And those who don't know what a DB8 is, that's the chassis code for a 4-door Integra Type R. So just imagine the Integra Type R but 4-door. That's a DB8. DB8 true Type R only comes in Japan, no USDM. The homie JDM Drew had one, and the iconic homie at Red Zone, his name is those guys, Jeremy at Red Zone. He has that candy apple green one. that was always going head to head at these shows with the leader of Plus One. Shout out to Randy N. He had that, I want to say like the Mercedes-Benz blue DB8 that he was crushing everything with, man. Shout out to Plus One also, was a legendary Frisco crew.
Yep.
That did they fucking thing that my brother was involved in, and I got grandfathered into the game because I was a young, fresh street nigga, and I gravitated to the game. I didn't come. Everybody all had Hondas. Roy had the Candy EK. Cousin Randy had the Sunset Orange off the Acura CL 3.2. Mm-hmm. His brother Rod had the Integra. Associate had the Desert Storm EG with the single head cam turboed. With like some crazy ass CPFs or CPRs, with turquoise green. Simon, I didn't get a chance to see his purple EK, I believe. And they had another partner named Simon that had a DA all mugged out, and that's all I could remember. But the crew has gotten bigger now, and it's a bunch of players in the game. But to be honest, I'm really the last nigga, the nigga that got fathered in. I'm holding their ass down because everybody got big jobs, big families now. Yeah. You know, but I'm definitely holding them down though. Like, I definitely got the juice, mate. But shout out to Plus One though, bro. I appreciate y'all just showing me the game and being just great teammates, mate.
So what do you have? What do you have in mind for the future for what you're gonna do?
Oh man, I swear to God, you see this motherfucking vehicle right here behind me? This is my favorite car right now, which is the we call this the Belly Range Rover.
Yep.
And me, like I said, I am a car enthusiast. I'm not no purist, but I do know fucking with these European cars. You know, to be honest, this has been an urban myth for the longest. This is why us niggas kind of jumped into the Japanese world, because growing up, we were told by the older crowd, don't get no Mercedes-Benz or nothing European because them things cost money and it's expensive to work on.
And they break down and it's expensive to fix.
But that's a myth, because I don't own 5, 6 European vehicles, 7 now. But me, I didn't really care about the motor, if it broke down or what. I'm putting the LS1 up in here. So this gonna be my European Trackhawk. But I fucked around and got all the paperwork for this vehicle, and I'm looking through all the service records. It got a brand new motor in there. But this car just fits my style of what I am right now. I'm just living this golden era. So this is the Belly Range Rover called the P38, which is an all-wheel drive vehicle, 4.6 V8 luxury vehicle, man. Truck.
Very New York style.
Yeah, this was the same one that Jay-Z had, and Imaginary Players, man. A bunch of people had this car. It's 2 versions, the weak version, then you got the 4.6 HSE.
HSE?
Yeah.
But you gotta have the HSE.
That's just the high performance, fully loaded. I got money. It's a 30 to 40,000 difference, cocksucker. Now beat it. That's the difference between the base model and the HSE. Almost a 50 ball. But that's my future plan for this. That's pretty much what's going to happen once this motor decides to go. But since I'm so responsible and I got everybody on my team, it's going to be hard for this motor to go because I got everybody working on my shit like that. But as far as cars, my next grab, I'm really trying to grab, I'm on my OEM wave right now. I'm done going fast. I don't want to go fast. I just want to cruise and enjoy that era. I'm looking for a twin turbo.
Kind of sounds like you're evolving.
I am.
You're evolving.
I am.
You're starting to like. No more Hennessy shots. Is now it's like cigars and a little bit of brandy and just like chilling.
I'm definitely maturing. For sure. No more.
It sounds like.
Yeah. No more risking my life for shits and giggles no more. Yeah. You know, I'm at that point where I just want to turn the key and cruise. Yeah. But my next pickup on my list is a Z32 twin turbo. It gotta be Pearl, and it gotta be 5-speed. It's a few more cars. I do want a big body BMW 96, 97 740 IL. the one
I
that
had one.
top was killed in.
Yeah.
And the back seat, I want the extended version. It's two versions.
IL, the
The
long
IL.
door. Long door.
Yeah, that means we could be like this in
Yeah,
the back
check
seat.
it out.
For sure.
Yeah, this is business class.
I don't want to VIP that out, but I want to slam it, throw on some nice wheels, and just make sure that motherfucker runs properly. You know, I'm not a fast driver. I just cruise now.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how much horsepower I got in all my vehicles, I just want to cruise. But to be honest, man, those are the next things on my list. I'm trying to pick up, but taking my time. When it comes to cars, that's really it. And I can't forget, summer is down the block.
Yes.
My first car was a first gen RX-7 FB S822, and I'm really in the market for one. A 1985 GSL SE
13B.
13B, the first 13B 1.3 liter fuel injected. The base model 12A has 100 HP.
Yep.
This one has 30.
Yeah.
Extra 30.
Yeah, extra
130. Never got a chance to feel a true 13B.
In that
RX-7
in that body.
FB first gen,
Yeah.
always been in a new one. So I want to experience that. They got to be.
We used to run 13s in that.
Oh, see, 13 is
We used
quick.
to run 13s in that.
13 is quick for the 90s.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like now, 10 seconds is like the
Let's
north.
do 213s now.
Yeah, but it's still fast. Like
Yeah.
you're crazy. Like
Most definitely.
the RX-7 weighs probably 2,600 curve pounds, and I love it. But the colors that I'm eager to get has to be seafoam green, which is first on my list, and the eggnog yellow. When I get this car for the summer, I'm going to try my hardest not to swap it, man. And I just, one side is like saying, go ahead and swap this old ass boy. The other side is saying, don't listen to this guy, bro. He's a bitch. Trust me, Pete. You don't want to go through the headaches. Just fuck with the rotary. If it breaks down, you know, do some homework and just rebuild it and just enjoy that OEM.
Or do a side port.
Yeah.
Or do a bridge port. But
I respect the rotary, but that's not what I like. I want my shit just to be humming OEM-ish. So when I do bust the motor down, I just want to refurbish it, re-clean it, bust it down. I ain't porting nothing. We just OEM. We just getting that nice B hum. That's it though. But that's pretty much the future plans.
So
lying.
Besides the plans,
I'm lying.
What I want to hear about, like, you know, what you're gonna do, or what are we gonna do for the car enthusiasts out there? What are we gonna do for them? You know, obviously we're gonna have our show. We're gonna have new. We're gonna have different special people from the golden era, from you know, from the industry. You know, iconic people like Dave Shee, the Silver Bullet, the first Honda to hit the 10s. Very good friend of mine, so we can have them on our show. We can reach out to Adam Sawatari, the very first RX-7 to hit the 10s also. Okay. Just a lot of people from the golden era, you know, in the car show scene and the racing scene, from golden era and today, you know. And we're gonna talk about fashion, sneakers, cars, and the lifestyle.
Yeah, because it's big names, like in the game that I'm in, which is the music game.
Yes.
It's a lot of music guys that really fuck with the JDM scene and the Euro scene and just cars in general. Like the thing going viral right now is Manny Fresh. Manny Fresh has a lot of shit. Like he has the NSX. He has a new NSX. He has they call this the clown shoe, which is that BMW. He has the M version with the S54 up in it. He got a couple Porsches. I want to say he got a 993 or a 930, one of those. But Manny Fresh got some shit. Then you got Travis Scott, you know, when he dropped the Cactus Jack album, I believe. He had the FD on the front cover, NSX, and the E30 M3.
You know we're out there, really.
Yeah, there's some shit out there, man.
People notice us.
Yeah, it's
notice us
out there. But they can't fuck with me. We talking about car for car, part for part, even talk about going to different tracks, because I don't not just build these
pure
cars.
Passion for this industry.
I'm at the
pure
track.
Passion.
I'm at Buttonwillow. I'm at Laguna Seca. I'm at Sears Point. I'm at what's the spot across the Golden Gate Bridge, the wine area. What's that?
Sears Point Raceway, which is not called Sears Point anymore. It used to be called Sears Point.
What's it called?
Now it's called Infineon.
Infineon Raceway.
Yeah.
No, that's not it.
But it
What's
they
the one-
changed it again.
What's the one called?
Okay.
Right there, like past Marin.
Yeah, that's Sears Point up in Napa Valley.
Yeah, somewhere in Napa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh?
but yeah.
Sonoma Raceway.
Sonoma Race. That's the name I was looking for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sonoma Raceway.
I don't.
I had done did like 3 races there.
Yeah, I'm really real deal Holyfield.
Promoted 3
I don't-
races there.
I don't even play. We just came from a NASCAR event there. It was beautiful. NASCAR racing. My first time seeing Jordan Racer was there too. Jordan Racer was doing his thing, man. Shout out to Michael Jordan, man. You know, out here putting these Dallas here into work, man. We need more black professional drivers though. I might be getting scouted, so you know, if y'all need a person of color and sauce, holla at me, man. Dope Boy Tape. I'm here to drive and beat their ass and look great. You understand me? Yeah, though. I want y'all to make sure to tune into us, follow us, like and subscribe, and just stay tuned. We love y'all.
You need a new fucking tank?
Yeah,
Hey, those things break all the time.
I just want some whipping on.
What's the intake on there?